Hello, my name is Sebbi and welcome back to the coffee break in Minecraft. Today is Sunday, September 29th, 2024. I began my journey home, but I made a stop to look for some artifacts. I was successful. I found an angler pottery shirt, Plenty pottery shirt, an explorer pottery shirt, and a Mourner pottery shirt. I'm not quite sure what the purpose of these pottery shirts is, but I will proudly carry them home and put them to display in my museum, at least until I figure out what their true purpose is. So let's break camp and continue the journey home. I will not make a stop at yet another archaeological site as I'm encumbered. In this case, I think it will be a smooth journey home, hopefully. Yeah, I think I will stop sailing right there. I am an EMT for a little bit more than a week by now, and I already made several interesting experiences. This week I had the first, well, not full shift, but a half of a shift as the person in command on a smaller ambulance car mostly used for transporting patients between hospitals or some physician's office or something like that, or from their home. This was cool, but on the other hand, it was a little bit chaotic. It was more chaotic than I initially planned, or I initially hoped. The first thing was that the driver was a very new driver. She's doing a full year in the emergency service on a voluntary basis. So she just finished her normal school education and is in between starting to study something, or maybe starting the training for a different profession. So far she has no clue what she wants to do after this year of working voluntarily in the emergency service. It's really a cool thing that one can do this on a voluntary basis. So yeah, she's kind of new. She just started this month, so she hasn't had so much experience, but this was not so much of a problem. It was just maybe one thing that made the entire first time of being in command even more interesting. In total, we had 4 patients, and there was at least one minor issue with the overall execution of the transport. The first patient we got from home. The annoying thing was that the relatives of that patient did not tell us that the patient might be infectious until we were standing in front of the patient, which was kind of unfortunate. Otherwise, we would have worn a mask right away. But yeah, nothing happened. Still, everyone is still healthy. The patient already was taking antibiotics, so the risk was very, very low to get infected. But still, it would have been kind of nice by the relatives if they would have let us know that there's another illness going on besides the main issue of the patient. But oh well, it happened, so this was the first glitch. The rest of the transport was fine, so delivered the patient to a clinic, and then everything was good, everything was fine. The second patient had a surgery and was in the station to wake up after the surgery, and we were our job was to bring the patient to the normal station. Super nice person, nothing wrong with that patient. The only problem was at the building where we had to bring the patient to. Shortly after we arrived, a truck of the clinic itself pulled in. This truck is used for transporting the meals for the patients between the various buildings of that clinic. I mean, that's an important thing. They do have an important job because everyone gets hungry and needs food and so on. The only problem was that the meals are put into some kind of big containers that can be pushed around and that are of course protected and so on. Yeah, one of these food delivery persons just let the container roll. The container rolled against our ambulance truck, and yeah, I think it ripped off a little bit of a piece of plastic from the ambulance. As we still had our patient, we had to first get our patient safely transported to the station. We said to them, okay, we need to have a discussion about that once we are done with our transport. After having brought the patient to the room, I already called the leader of the emergency service station, because they have to be informed when an accident happens, and we thought, okay, the food truck drivers would have waited, but no, they were gone. So our commander got to us, took a couple of pictures, and made note of that incident. So yeah, that was annoying, because there was so much management, so much chaos involved in that. The third patient was nothing went wrong with the transport, nothing went wrong with the patient. Everything was good. The only problem was for completing the transport, and finally for basically getting paid. Not we as the persons, the medics are not getting paid by this, but the company itself, the organization gets paid. They need to have something like a little receipt about the order that the patient had to be transported. Unfortunately, the patient wasn't in the IT system of the station yet. So I had to wait there for, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so, until they finally were able to print that stupid receipt that we transported the patient. So this took longer than needed and also annoyed me. At the same time, I found it also a little bit sad. I really wanted to get to know the new person in the team, but with all this chaos and all the time that I had to wait here and wait there and organize and call our commander and so on, things I haven't had really time for getting to know her, which I found really sad. Once I finally got my receipt and we got back to into our ambulance, we wanted to leave. It was basically the time reached that the colleague I jumped in for, because he had other commitments the night before. So someone was searched for basically helping him out, that he could do the transport of an organ or something like that. But this took place during the night, and so he of course needed some sleep, and I jumped in. Anyways, colleague was ready, was awake. Also, the end of my time, of my availability, also was close to an end, as I do had also other commitments. So I called the station that gives all the orders to the various ambulances and so on. The radio station, so to say. And let them know that, okay, we want to now get back to our station and want to exchange personnel. I mean, they understood it, but at the same time they had a real emergency, so to which we were sent then. I was thinking, okay, great. My availability is coming slowly to an end. And now I have to take care of a real accident. Apparently, a motorcycle rider collided with a car. Nothing critical, so luckily the person, except for a few bruises, was uninjured. So we checked him. Everything's fine. The patient also wanted to, well, stay there and don't want to get into a hospital. So everything was fine. It didn't take too much time. Still, it was one thing where I thought, okay, dang, every one of our assignments had something that was not needed, basically. And yeah, so I luckily made my other meetings, so everything was fine in the end. I was just thinking, okay, great start to this being in command situation. But yeah, still had fun. Still was cool. It was nice to basically get into this position, to be the person in command. And yeah, those were my first hours as a real. No, you don't shoot me. As an MT, owie, as a working EMT. And oh dear. So yeah, ouch. That was cool. Then this weekend, I did my first big ambulance shifts. I think I should rather get the compass out instead of the thing. The other than the compass is confusing me. Maybe the shield, but I can have the compass down here. Yeah, so the big ambulance, being driver there, it surprisingly doesn't drive so differently to a smaller van or so. It's just a little bit bigger. This was interesting. This was really interesting, as so far I, of course, haven't been the driver, and always, as I haven't been the driver, we were always 3 people, and this time, for the first time, it were only 2. So this was something new, but at the same time was also super nice to get into this position. There weren't real emergencies. Yesterday, there were a couple of more emergencies where we actually had to do something. And it was interesting. It was just to get to know all the how everything works when you're just two people. But there was also no major problem or so. It was just getting to know a little bit more how to properly drive that ambulance, getting to know when and how to use the different types of horns and signals and whatnot. So well, it was cool. It was nice. Today was basically nothing. This was super confusing. Normally, one has not much time at the station and is often getting from one emergency to the next one. But today, we really had so much time at the station, which was kind of relaxing. And the few patients we had to transport, either it were really just emergency transports from one clinic to a different clinic or so, or it were just other small transport. The most fascinating one, I guess, was a baby that was born too early. If I understood the one person who accompanied us, the baby was born after around 24 weeks of pregnancy, which is basically really the lower limit when a young or an early born child has chance for survivability. So this little person had to be transported, and this is done in an incubator, put on a stretcher. This thing is super heavy, but it was more about this little baby that's always so fascinating, how small a human being can be and how nature makes us grow so big. So this was really one of those things that was kind of cool, but more of simply by the way how small that baby was. And yeah, that was cool. So really got to slowly getting a hang of that big ambulance driver business, which was kind of cool. Yeah, so lots of new experiences, lots of new EMT experiences, and overall really cool things. I'm excited when I will be back behind the steering wheel of a big ambulance. So far, nothing is planned for the next few weeks, at least not with respect to the big ambulance, more of the smaller ambulances where I'm then in command again. That's, I guess, going to be cool. Yeah, so much about this, this emergency service business. With respect to the applications, I was invited to an interview for that position in Antarctica, which is kind of crazy. And they really invited me for an interview, for a job interview. This will take place at the end of October, so there's still plenty of time until the interview will take place. I guess this is going to be really cool. At least, even though if I'm not the one they choose or so, I think it will be still a kind of interesting experience getting interviewed there. I can tell you more about that at the end of next month, I guess. It's just a crazy and somewhat unexpected situation that I'm really invited for a job interview for that position in Antarctica. Yeah, I will tell you more once I know more. So far, I just know that I'm invited to that job interview. That's going to be interesting. With respect to the one professor position, that is still not decided. They recently, I think it was Wednesday, sent me an email asking for further proof for some old contracts of job positions I had previously. The other position I applied for at the same university for applied sciences, they selected someone else, and for that position I was not asked for these additional documents. So I think if they want to reject me, they wouldn't have asked for further information. In this case, it's somewhat of a good sign that I'm still not out, that I'm still considered as maybe a potential candidate, which is cool, which is super cool. Really excited. I simply hope that they're okay with the contracts I got. If the documents are good for them, or if they say, okay, we can't tell whether this person is good for us or not. I will see. Even there, I will see what comes out of this. I compiled most of the documents I asked for. I just have to find two more files on my laptop, on my personal laptop, not the laptop from university. I think I will send them the collection of all the PDF tomorrow or Tuesday. Then I just have to wait what happens then. I really foresee something like either I am in the end not accepted by the position for in Antarctica, or well, I'm not accepted for either the position in Antarctica or the professor position, or I in the end will be accepted by both, so that I could be professor, or I could go for a year, a little bit more than a year, to Antarctica. This would be, this would be a big problem then. I really don't know what to do then. I guess the first thing I would do then is to ask the University for Applied Science. What just dropped down here? I saw something coming down from here. What happened here? The only thing I can imagine is to ask the University for Applied Science, hey guys, how long can I well, can we extend the time between you select me and I say yes to you? Ooh, there's the mountain home. Okay, I think I will sleep in the mountain home. If I can then extend it for longer than a year or so, and I can have both in the end, this would be cool. I simply don't know if this is possible, or if I really have then to make the call. Antarctica or professor at the University for Applied Science, which would be basically, okay, I'm done. End of career, more or less. Well, not completely end of career, but it would be a permanent position, and it would be very, very well paid, and I don't need to think about anything else anymore. Basically. Uno. So, yeah. But on the other hand, Antarctica's Antarctica. And that's a true unique experience. Luckily, that's not a problem for today. It's not a problem. Oh, no! That's a problem for today. It's not a problem for today. It's a problem for future Sebbi. I'm quite sure future Sebbi won't be happy about that. Man, what do you want here, you green guys? But yeah, we will see. We'll see. The last thing that was kind of cool this week, I met a former student that basically became a friend over the long time. She moved to Nuremberg, and I visited her there. We found really a cool restaurant. We first thought, okay, that's maybe a dark place or so. In the end, it turned out to be a really cool, like in the medieval ages restaurants place or something like that. This was a cool place. So that was a nice Friday evening. So yeah, that's the summary of basically all the exciting things that happened this week. Kind of a lot of things. I mean, first time in command on an ambulance, first time driving a big ambulance, meeting old friends, getting positive signs for the position in Antarctica, getting some positive signs for a permanent professor position. It's nice, but it's also a little bit scary. With that, we are at the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will be joining me next time. Until then, my name is Sebbi. See you!